I had a lunch with a guy yesterday, Mike McConnell, fantastic person. I thought you'd find this interesting, Martin. So he is well, I'll go back to his career. Used to be a landman in the oil and gas industry, eventually worked his way up at Enron to be the CEO of global markets. He had 6 different global markets, literally every continent.
You had lunch with this guy?
Yeah, I had lunch with him.
Was he in prison?
He was the only executive at Enron who was not subpoenaed.
Really?
And just because he has that much character, he wrote a really great book that I actually read. Roundabout story how I even found it. It's kind of like your book, Martin. Not many people have read it. I'm just kidding.
True.
No, I mean, in all seriousness, it's a self-published book. It's not like it's a New York Times bestseller or anything like that. But I was actually at the University of Oklahoma only for 1 year when his daughter was also there, and his daughter was dating my best friend for like 6 months, and he read the book, and then I took it off of his shelf. I digress. His book is Just Because You Can Doesn't Mean You Should. And he talks about the Enron stuff, but he talks about a lot of other really great, life advice. And he ended up leaving Enron and working at a small oil and gas firm that he took public. And then in 2018 or whatever, everyone really struggled when the price of oil dropped. And so now he is the director of the energy management program at OU down the road. Right. And I was able to grab lunch with him. It was really great. And he's taking a completely different approach than anybody in academia that I've seen. And when he took the job, when he was interviewing, he said, I will not recruit students here if we don't have jobs for them. And that's just not something that I've seen in academia. It's usually like, hey, we're going to get you this degree. It's all about the degree. It's all about enrollment numbers inside of academia. But he's like, no, until we have the jobs, I will not recruit people. I won't even accept them into the program. And so what he's doing is he's flying to all these oil and gas companies and renewables companies, utilities companies around the nation, really. And he's talking about how great their program is. And he's actually created every single person in the energy management program at OU, which now I believe there's, a little over 100 or something along those lines. Every single one of them has an internship their sophomore year, every single one of them. And it's just a completely different approach. And now now they're starting to recruit again because they have the jobs for it. And it's a different approach than I think most people would take. And I think sometimes it takes that to run a successful operation is a different approach. And that goes back again to our positioning document. Maybe most contractors aren't going to educate on the disappointments that could occur during the job ahead of time because they're worried about the sale. But if you do things differently, people can gain your trust.
Right. And so people don't misunderstand here. It doesn't mean that you list everything that could ever possibly go wrong, because you can beat yourself out of a sale. But the things that you have experience with that are a high percentage of the time it rains and you can't pour the concrete that day, doesn't mean that you'll be there the next day because you had to go to another job. And so one day of rain might set the project back a week, but you have to discuss those things and stay in communication